guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today I'm super excited because I have one of my favorite guests back on the channel. It is none other than Carter, who's been dominating in CRL. I think a lot of people slept on you going in, but definitely one of the MVPs for NRG Esports. Carter, welcome to the channel, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. How about you?
I'm doing very well too, man, and I'm excited to have you on today. First of all, like, how is CRL going in your eyes? Obviously, you've been performing incredibly well. Unfortunately, your team's not doing as well as you had hoped, I'm sure. But like, how are you looking at things right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely bittersweet, like you said. Unfortunately, the team isn't doing great. I think with Complexity winning over Immortals on Saturday, we're mathematically locked out of playoffs. So that's very unfortunate. But you know, I've been fairly happy with my performance overall. There's definitely, I feel like, a lot of room for me to improve, but you know, I'll try to finish out the season as best I can and then get ready for season 2, hopefully.
Yeah, man. We'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see you next year. I expect big things out of you, Carter. But the reason you're on today is to talk about the really, at least in my eyes, I don't know if you agree or disagree with me, but this is like the meta graveyard deck right now, like the one that everybody seems to be playing. And formerly with the bowler, but now with a knight in there. Tell us a little bit about the deck, and then let's just hop into a actually we'll go over a 12-win replay, then we'll both hop into some lives after that. So tell us about the deck.
Yeah, so I think the deck is super solid overall. I think the one with Cannon Cart for Knight and Barbell for Log, yeah, that one's a little bit more popular right now. I think they're both very strong. It just kind of depends on the matchup, but yeah, it's definitely a super strong deck. It's just really solid overall. You can defend like any push with it, and then you kind of just have to play really patient with your graveyard, and then in double elixir or in overtime at some point, you just tend to like have big counter pushes coming down the lane, and then you just stick a graveyard and a poison down, and usually you just do that 3 or 4 times and it'll pretty much be game.
Yeah, it's like you play it just like the old Splashyard, kind of, right? Like it's a big counterattack deck. But you know what? Let's go over the replay right now, and you can kind of go through the thought process against Gustavo, who's another really good player. So let's go ahead and watch this one. I'm gonna press pause and start with you at 3, 2, 1, play. So yeah, kind of just walk us through. You're at the top of the screen, which annoys the hell out of me. But talk us through, like, I imagine the starting play is going to be a Tombstone or maybe an Ice Wizard in the back or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable usually starting with Tombstone, where I did there. Usually, though, no matter what, I like to wait a second or two just to see if my opponent makes the first play. And if they don't, then I'll drop a Tombstone, maybe an Ice Wizard, a Knight, a Log. Just kind of depends on you know, your starting hand, and then of course what if they make the first move.
Yeah, I want to kind of go macro strategy for you here, and like when you're going into a match, whether it's a grand challenge or a ladder match or in a grand or in CRL, like obviously the first thing that you want to do is find out what the opponent is playing. But like, how do you, like, what's the flow in your mind like? Are you just trying to like really slowly cycle things and just react at first, or is it like, what's going on in your mind actually as you're playing?
Are you saying with this deck or just kind of like in general?
I guess in general, or specifically with this deck if it's different.
I mean, with this deck, like, it really does kind of depend on the deck. With this deck, I'm playing patient, trying to figure out what they're playing, trying to get into a good cycle once I figure out what they're playing. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the deck. You know, if you're playing you know, a little bit more of a bait deck or something like that, of course you're just gonna be trying to figure out like what spells they have to counter your, you know, spam units and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different decisions you have to make, especially in CRL when you know it's such a good player. You can't kind of count on taking advantage of mistakes they make. You really have to just kind of outplay them, which can be really tough sometimes.
Yeah, and a lot of your matches, I don't know if it's in particular or if it's at a higher rate, but I just happened to notice because I've seen you a lot in King of the Hill. You've been doing a lot of like good work in King of the Hill. You're a beast. But a lot of your matches, if not like all of them, it might just be your deck selection, but they seem to go into overtime. Do you find that's a common thing for you in this deck?
Yeah, definitely this deck, like, I would say a solid 80% of games are going to go into overtime because it really is a deck where single elixir, you're kind of just waiting on your opponent to make the move, and then a double elixir is whenever you really start making things happen, and even then, usually you don't win in just one push. But yeah, I mean, I've had so many close games in CRL. You know, I've had some ups and some downs, but you know, the important thing for me that I've found is just to try to, you know, learn from my mistakes this season.
Yeah, and speaking of mistakes, not that you make many of them, but you mentioned something earlier, and I want to follow up on it, and you said that sometimes if you have a bad cycle, you'll fix it, or get your cycle fixed. Now, do you mean by that, when you say that, and nice NATO there, by the way, that was a really nice play.
Yeah, this is really the key to whenever playing against 3 muskies with this deck, is getting a graveyard and then NATOing all the muskies away if they use those to defend.
Perfect. And for him to properly defend, if you're on the 3 Musketeer side, what should he be doing to prevent that? Just out of curiosity, because I'm sure people will run into it on both sides.
Well, with this deck in particular, if he can, like bait out my NATO with the Hog Rider or something, and then also, as far as defending Graveyard goes, he can use like Hunter and Royal Ghost and a Log or something like that and get a decent counter push. But it's definitely really tough because I just have such good control over the match.
You do, and you can see the control of this deck. But yeah, back to the rotation question. So is it just as simple as looking for their best counters to Graveyard and making sure that you have an answer to that, making sure your Poison's in the cycle, your NATO's in the cycle, or making sure that you have your good defensive cycles? Like when you say to fix a cycle, what does that entail in your mind?
Well, with this deck in particular, it just kind of is making sure you have your defensive answers whenever they are attacking you. So like right here, I have the Tombstone ready for the Hog. Fortunately, with like against Hog Riders, I have Tombstone and NATO, so it's pretty easy to be in a good cycle. But you know, maybe like against Lavaloon, for example, you want to be able to have like at least one Baby Dragon, and Ice Wizard, and like NATO pretty much for every Lavaloon push that they're gonna make. And it's a pretty easy matchup if you play it really well, but it's also an easy matchup where if you get caught in a bad cycle or you know, really just make one mistake, you can easily lose.
Okay, so when you say fix a cycle, does that basically just mean that sometimes if your cycle is off, meaning that if those cards are not up in rotation, that sometimes you'll just have to cycle cards to get to them and get it fixed, like, and kind of throw away an elixir here or there?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like maybe they have a Royal Ghost coming down and I have like a Tombstone and a Mega Minion, so I could use a Tombstone to stop the Royal Ghost, or I could use the Mega Minion on the Royal Ghost and then save the Tombstone for the Battle Ram, or just kind of like,
it's like a decision-making
not using the ideal counter in the moment, but you know, kind of thinking ahead of what I'm gonna need whenever he makes his next push, kind of thing.
Exactly. So like it's just affecting the decisions that you make in the meanwhile, because okay, I need to make sure that I save this card for whatever, so I'm not going to play it here, even though it might be, you know, I can counter it in a different way or something. All right.
Yeah.
So, makes sense. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first.
All right, cool. Just hop into a ladder match. I'll reload my device because it happens every time that it's bugged out.
All right. I already hopped in.
No, that's cool. No, I'll be right in. No. This is like a bug that I've mentioned this a few times, but just in case you're watching for the first time, you have no idea what I'm talking about. A bug that only really affects me, because like who else cares about this? But when somebody just joins a clan, you have to actually reload the app if you want to see their live battles, so you can't see them play live right away. So that's why I always kind of close out my app and reload it. But anyway, starting out here, a nice log to redirect that that muskie. Just tell us a little bit about like what's going on through your head here.
Yeah, so right here, he pretty much played a naked giant, so I could have like tornadoed that away or something to save damage, but instead I'm going to take some damage and get a little bit of a counter push going here. Okay. So usually I wouldn't go aggressive with Graveyard, but I knew I had a decent elixir advantage and a lot of troops coming down. Not going to get a ton of damage, but I'll get some solid chip there.
Yeah. Okay, so now you know what he's playing. It looks like it's, I don't know if it's Giant Miner or just...
I think it's just like a giant cycle, probably triple spell. Pretty common ladder deck.
Which is what we want. We don't want any crazy off-meta stuff. We want something that actually people can actually take away something from. So this is good.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's now that you know kind of what deck he's playing. Again, you don't know. I imagine it's Fireball, but you don't know what his big spell is. So where's your head at here? Just wait till double elixir time?
Yeah, I'm pretty much just going to play patient and defend. And, you know, try to set up a counter push at some point. Pretty much, like, you just defend, try to keep your units alive for the counter push, and yeah, if you get them going, then you stick a graveyard.
Yep.
Stick a graveyard down.
So nice poison. You also have NATO in hand if you need it.
Yeah, I think I'll be good, most likely.
Ooh, zap there.
Just throw down the knight.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think that would have gotten a hit because the other tower actually got a hit on that mini P.E.K.K.A. But ooh, he's gonna throw a giant into my knight. That's pretty aggressive by him.
Yeah, because even though it's just a knight, look at all the damage he's already done. Especially with that Ice Wiz helping out. That pretty much lost in the match, I think, don't you?
Yeah, most likely.
We'll see.
Wow, he's going like playing this like a bridge spam deck.
You know what the thing is like
warrior.
And we talked about this about pacing on this deck too, but it can apply to any deck. Is that sometimes especially if you try out any deck that I share with you guys on the channel here, guys, or any deck like this, and you find yourself losing and frustrated with it, maybe you're just pacing yourself incorrectly. Like Carter says, 80% of his matches go into double elixir time. That's pretty incredible with this deck. So maybe if you've played this deck 6 times and none of those matches have gone into double elixir time, or excuse me, well, it'd be pretty tough if they didn't go into double elixir time. But if they didn't go into overtime, maybe you're playing a little bit too aggressively, you know? So here we go.
Yeah. It's definitely like one of the biggest mistakes for newer graveyard players. And I mean, there are matchups where you will play more aggressive. Like, for example, a graveyard mirror matchup. You are fairly aggressive with trying to, you know, obviously win the bridge battles and just kind of chip away at them as much as you can.
Yeah.
But for the most part, against like a normal push deck or, you know, a bridge spam deck, something like that, you're going to be playing very patient.
Yeah. Now, sometimes the one thing that I kind of struggle with graveyard decks is knowing when not to go with a graveyard on my counter push, you know? And I guess, is that just as simple as knowing if you have enough elixir compared to them?
Yeah, I mean, knowing if you have enough elixir can be important.
Like, you just did it there. I mean, like, I guess it was pretty obvious, but I don't know. Sometimes I struggle. Like, what if you have, like, a half-health Ice Wiz and a half-health Baby Dragon? Like, is that a good time? Or if it's double elixir or no, you know?
It depends on if I feel like they have a lot of elixir and if, like, what their card cycle is. So, for example, if you have a half HP Baby Dragon coming down and you have a graveyard, a good player is likely to maybe block that Baby Dragon with a Mega Minion so that you don't have a tank for it, or you know, they might be expecting you not to graveyard, so they kind of wait and let the tower just kind of take care of all that kind of stuff. So there's some mind games there, especially with better players, but
I'm in
it's
a
really
match,
hard
by the way,
to
just
just give. Okay. But it's really hard to give a right and wrong answer of like when to graveyard. It just kind of depends on the situation.
Okay, I got you. All right, so I'm playing against a level 12 here. I haven't pushed much this season, so hopefully I take a dub here. But as you can see, okay, now you can see, I am playing graveyard. I mean, I'm playing cannon cart version. All right, I'm going in for an aggressive graveyard because I don't know. I decided to. Was that a mistake?
Because you can.
Because I can.
I mean,
obviously not.
Obviously, it worked out very, very well. He didn't have Valkyrie or Log in cycles.
Yeah,
so.
the reason I did that is because I knew he started with the Goblin Barrel. You missed that, and then I knew he went with that Valkyrie, which I found a little bit on the aggressive side. So I'm gonna try to activate here, and I'm a noob.
Oof.
I'm not sure if you knew that, but I'm a noob.
No, I mean, you're doing very well so far.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great, Car. I was one tile too far to the right on that, and I hope it doesn't cost me the game. But yeah, go on.
I don't know if you know this or not, but there's actually a NATO placement where you can completely deny all hits from a Goblin Barrel.
Oh, after the King Tower is activated, or even before?
Before.
Okay, I didn't know that. Where is it?
Yeah. Well, I can show you after the game. It's hard to like explain what tile. But yeah, I mean, you're in a pretty solid matchup, and obviously you took a huge early advantage. So
you know what it is? I'm gonna blame it on my iPad.
Oh yeah, God, are you used to playing on phone?
I'm used to playing on phone. I never play except for live matches on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But it is a little awkward. But it's really just my noobishness.
Yeah, and the other good thing about going with the graveyard there, and this is a thing with the cannon cart version, is his only answer really for cannon cart was Goblin Gang at the time, and also his only answer for graveyard was Goblin Gang at the time. So you kind of, you force him to answer one or the other, and either way he's in big trouble pretty much.
Yeah, this time he's keen to and I actually activate the toughest one. The one time he actually does the proper placement, I actually activate. All right, so I'm playing like I said, like you said, I'm kind of playing this weird version. I'm gonna go in for this move. Do you think this is a good okay to put some pressure on, even though you had Valkyrie in hand, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Like, you definitely want to Barbarrel Graveyard is just such a strong combo because Barbarrel is a tank that you can't block at the bridge.
Oh, he barreled me.
He tricked you.
He barreled me.
But yeah, you can't stop a Barbarrel at the bridge, so like it's a guaranteed tank for the graveyard, which is very important, especially against really good players. And then boom, really good poison value right there because you forced out the Valkyrie onto your cannon cart. So pretty much as long as you keep chipping away here and defending the Goblin Barrels reasonably well, you should be in good shape.
Yeah, sure. We'll just do this. I don't think I really. Maybe it was a waste, but whatever. All right.
No, that was good, NATO.
So he has yeah, he has rocket. I don't know if he's gonna rocket this, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Should I graveyard at some point, or should I just keep cycling?
I mean, at some point, obviously, you will need to graveyard, but I think with him having the Tesla up and stuff, you kind of would. It would be better if you did it like on a bit of a counter push kind of thing, and then also you have the cannon cart. So if he doesn't have Valkyrie and cycle, you can like drop a cannon cart in the middle and potentially get some good damage there.
Here. All right, maybe I shouldn't have poisoned that.
No, that's honestly fine. It's just like chipping away.
Yeah.
It's a very grindy deck, so you can be pretty aggressive with your poisons and your graveyards, just getting some chip damage here and there. Because like especially in CRL, draws in 1v1 sets, they're not very good, but in King of the Hill, like if you can just keep chipping away little by little, it'll get you the win on single lowest.
Okay, we're gonna cannon cart here. I am gonna take that poison right here.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'm not sure what your poison level is, but I'm pretty sure you should be one poison away at this point.
Yeah, it's max, so we're good. All right, so I mean, it could have been way prettier, but we'll get it.
Yeah, I mean,
NATO.
It was good overall. Pro plays.
Pro plays. All right, there we go. All right, yeah. I mean, the poor dude's not even a freaking level 12. I feel like an idiot, but whatever. All right, well played, despite the mistakes. All right, good luck. All right, let's do. I gotta avenge myself from all those missed activations. But you know what? People aren't here to watch me play. Do you want to play one more, Carter?
Sure.
Right,
do you want me to show you the NATO placement real quick though?
Yes. Thanks for remembering, because I never would have. All right, guys, we edited that up because I went in with the same deck without a Goblin Barrel. So here we go. This time we'll actually do it. All right. Here we go.
I do have NATO and cycle.
Okay, here comes a Goblin Barrel. I'll put it in just like the regular center.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, just like that, it'll take no hits and activate the King Tower.
Wow. So that was literally like one tower to your left.
Here, I'll show you right there, right where I put the Ice Wizard.
Okay.
So that tile.
Right, so basically right here. Boom. Right where the one didn't spawn.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so now you guys know. That's the perfect tile placement to activate and avoid all damage. All right, thank you, Carter. You want to do a quick match?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
I'll just have to 3-crown you real quick.
I don't know why I did that.
Oh, wow.
All right, we'll edit when we get to the match again because I screwed everything up. All right. You're like, wow.
Interesting. Furnace to block my tank.
Oh, yeah, that's a pro play.
Well played.
All kinds of pro plays. All right, so if you, are you going to Japan? Like, what's the situation there? Or is it only the teams that make it?
I'm pretty sure it's only teams that make World Finals.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, I'll be going back home between seasons, so it'll be nice to, go back to my high school and be like, hey, guys, it's me again.
Man, so what's the deal? Like, are you getting schooled there, or?
Yeah, I'm doing online schooling.
Oh, my God.
So we have, like, a tutor and stuff, but Yeah, it's
so
pretty
weird,
pretty
though,
crazy
right?
because
Yeah.
I'm like a junior in high school technically.
Oh my god, man. Does it feel like you're getting gypped out of your high school years at all? Like a little part of you, or are you just totally having fun with it?
Well, I mean, I don't miss the schooling part, but like my dad's actually a basketball coach, so like being on the basketball team and stuff like that, that was a big deal. Deciding whether or not to leave that, but
Sure.
I mean, yeah. Overall, I'm definitely not regretting my decision. I really enjoy CRL and all that comes with it.
Awesome, man. Well, time to hop into a match.
All right.
All right, here we go, guys. Back to a live
in.
match. He's in. It's the Caesar G.
Yep. I don't have a great cycle here, so I'm gonna wait for a second, and then if he doesn't do anything, I'll just drop a knight in the back.
Okay.
Alright, I'll drop knight same lane as that, probably playing bait, so maybe I can show off that NATO placement again. Ooh, it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
just gonna have to log that back, prevent the charge.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have Ice Wizard or Tombstone or anything really to answer the Dark Prince super well.
But you're gonna get plenty of damage here with your non-max baby dragon on the left tower.
Yeah, level 12, let's go.
Nice. Are you used to the new card levels? I am. I told people too that early on they'll get used to it.
Yeah, I got used to it pretty quick. It was definitely a little bit weird for the first couple days, but alright, so he's playing the toxic Royal Giant.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna NATO all of that together. So that should clean up the Princess and the Royal Giant, no hits.
Yep, nice. So how do you feel about this deck against Royal Giant? Have you faced a Royal Giant deck in CRL yet, personally?
In CRL, I don't think so. I have, I think Royal Giant in general is like, it's not overpowered. In ladder, of course, it's going to be really annoying again. Sure. But like you'll see it here and there in CRL, but probably more in like 2v2 than 1v1.
Gotcha. All right, so it's a weird deck, obviously, but this is no surprise being a ladder match. So what is your strategy? You still don't know what his big spell is again. But he has like guards and princess, so you just want to make sure you have poison ready every time you graveyard from here on out?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to combo my graveyard with poison, but pretty much like here I'm just kind of stacking units.
Wizard!
And counter pushing. Yeah, I'll just poison that out.
Yeah, this is a ladder deck, guys.
I might just go ahead and graveyard here, and then I can NATO stuff. Yeah, I can NATO all that together. Good block on the Mega Minion by him. But I'll get some chip damage. Not a whole lot, but... Alright.
Knight definitely
so I'm
comes
definitely
in
going to take some damage here. Oh yeah, Knight is just, it's super solid all around. It's pretty much good in any situation. And it's efficient to cycle, being only 3 elixir.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I love about this deck is that it's so defensively strong. Like you can almost always defend at a positive elixir, exchange.
Yeah, and I mean it's not always positive elixir, but since you have
surviving troops,
units that counter push so well, it kind of makes it positive elixir.
Exactly. So here we
go.
I'm
just gonna
another NATO
that back.
It's like good luck getting that Royal Giant with the NATO and the Tombstone log. Like you have plenty at your disposal. He doesn't even get one shot off there.
Yeah.
Another beautiful Knight block here, and see this is one of those situations
building
where
up a ton of units.
Yeah. So you're just gonna poison this?
I'm just gonna actually NATO all that splash. Another good Mega Minion by him, kind of making sure I can't get too much NATO value. I'm gonna let those barbs go. They won't do enough damage for me to care.
Yep. And you keep that Ice Wiz alive, which is doing some work for you.
Yeah, pretty textbook stuff right now. Just defend, counter push, rinse, repeat.
Yep.
So I'm gonna log that back. I don't want to take too much damage.
You log him. Pro play. Log him the skeleton.
Alright, I'm gonna just go for a graveyard poison here. That should be... It might be...
Ooh, nice.
I think I'll probably be like 1 poison away after that graveyard.
Yeah, but you gotta feel really good about getting that poison, nailing barbarians with it, and the tower, and a little bit of Mega Minion.
Oh yeah, definitely really good value on that.
Yep, so he decides to change lanes here.
Yeah.
Vlog. Almost there.
Pretty much, I'm just like feel bad for this guy. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
Just defending.
Yeah, it's not like an awful ladder deck that he's rocking, but it's I like having a spell in all my deck, a big spell in my decks usually, unless I'm playing something.
Yeah, he has a lot of splash damage with the wizard and the princess.
That's true.
Yeah, definitely the spell can be very valuable.
So do you ever, in a situation like this, obviously with Tom kind of ticking off, would you go naked graveyard are you trying to like build up an elixir advantage kind of to just naked graveyard poison?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm just defending, making sure that nothing crazy happens, and then I'm gonna graveyard poison. As long as I get 1 or 2 skeleton shots, that's GG.
Well, good game, man.
So yeah.
Well, 2 clean matches from you, 1 sloppy one from me. I say that's a pretty good video. Thanks for coming on again, Carter. I really appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It's always fun.
No problem, man. I'll include your all your information. Any shout outs that I should know about?
Well, I am streaming on Twitch, not every night, but every night where we're not like practicing a ton and I'm at home. So I'm doing that now. I guess follow me on Twitter or whatever, and shout out to all of my teammates in NRG.
For sure, man. Well, thanks again for coming on. You guys can check out Carter's Twitch information, his Twitter information, and his stats and player profile thanks to statsroyale.com. All in the show notes below, along with the deck link, which is in every single video. Guys, thank you so much to Carter. Make sure you go follow him on Twitch. He's a great streamer, a great guy, and a very, very good player. And a huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information as well. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.